What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. We are back. We warned you that Kat was not going to be here last week, so don't get mad if she's not here, but she will return next week. She had to go to a Lady Gaga concert, so apparently Lady Gaga is more important than we are. So just saying, you
I
know.
mean,
I mean, think about it. When she had the opportunity to buy those tickets, she saw the date was on a Tuesday,
that is
right?
true. Yeah.
And she was like, you know what? Nothing for nothing. Screw Comic Book Weekly that week. I'm going to go to Lady Gaga. So I hope she's having a good time and she's partying and having fun and stuff like that. So, of
Yeah,
course,
absolutely.
we'll be here talking about the comic books. I'm Mike Spider Slayer from Comic Book Corner 2.0. And next to me today, we have Brant from Only Good Comics.
What's up, everybody?
So, yes, of course, we're going to have a fun show for you tonight. We're going to talk about, obviously, the books that came out this past week. There wasn't a ton of comic book news. So, we're going to kick off with that this week. And we'll probably be done with that in the next 5 minutes. And then we'll talk about comics, try to take some questions live, and so on and so forth. So your participation in the show is greatly appreciated. And in the live chat as well, for YouTube nowadays, it's like the more participation you put in the live chat, you get like experience points and you can get ranked in the actual chat. So it's pretty interesting on what they do now. So just to add some fun to it, right? So if you want to participate, go ahead and comment. All right. So, Brant, why don't you take it away? Kick it off with the news this week.
Yeah, so like Mike said, we don't have a whole lot to talk about, but we're gonna burn through this. So the first thing, the only media piece we have is there is a new Archie project, and I believe it's gonna be animated because it is from the creators of the Spider-Verse franchise. The producers behind it. So, and the interesting thing that relates this to comics is Tom King is actually writing this. He's making his jump into screenwriting with this project. So, Tom King writing Archie, and it's possibly going to be an animated movie. I assume it's going to be animated, but no real plot details available for this yet. Just that it's Archie and Tom King and Spider Verse producers. So that's kind of cool. I
I
think.
mean, I would agree. I
Yeah.
honestly did not see this on an article. I saw this on TV.
Oh,
Like
really?
they announced it because I always watch the Today Show in the morning time while I'm just like cooking breakfast or getting the kids ready for school or helping with their stuff or whatever it is. And this popped up on like it's called Pop Start as a segment that they have, and they talked about this. And I like just standing there for a second. I'm like, oh, we're probably gonna have to talk about this on the show. So I was
Yeah.
like, Brent would probably be excited about this one. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's cool. I mean, listen, I'm not the biggest Tom King guy, but it's something that is definitely worth checking out though for sure, especially if you're a fan of the property.
Yeah, and it's a very different vibe than we're used to from Tom King, so that's gonna be interesting to see, like, what version of Archie we're getting here. These producers were also behind the Lego Movie and, 21 Jump Street, the remake with Channing Tatum and all that, so,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, y some comedy chops behind these producers there as well, so it could be interesting, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. We do have a question here. It says, did you guys hear about a Cyclops solo series on the horizon? I did not. Did you, Brant?
No, I did not hear that. Interesting.
Curious when that news was announced.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we need any more X-Men titles and solo titles.
Yeah.
It's too many in my opinion. Like every single character in the X-Men seems like they had their own solo series. Look at that. You got Magic, you had Storm, you have Psylocke, you have Emma Frost. If you have Cyclops, he'll have a series. Wolverine has his series. Like every
Yeah.
single one of them has their own series, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's really needed.
I just found an article on Bleeding Cool, so take that with a grain of salt. But there are
Right.
rumors about it. It dropped like 12 hours ago.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, and it's saying it's rumored to take place after X-Men: Age of Revolution, and
Mm.
supposedly supposed to have Jed McKay writing with Ryan Stegman on art.
Makes sense. It's just going to be attached to his X-Men
Right. Exactly.
book.
So yeah,
Okay.
we'll see what develops with that, but seems pretty plausible.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's move on to the next piece here.
Yeah, so from the DC side of things, we got one DC piece, one Marvel piece, and then we're done. Believe it or not. From the DC piece, we have a new Wonder Woman villain debuting next issue in issue 25 called the Matriarch. And I'll say the imagery of this character is really interesting. I haven't loved the current arc of Wonder Woman as much as previous arcs in this run, but I'm curious about this character, and I'll try to screen share it here in a second.
Yeah, I actually have not read this series in a while.
There we go.
But seeing that makes me want to pick it up. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that looks like a cool character and a very formidable foe for Wonder Woman. And hopefully it would be a very interesting story arc. So that would make me pick it up again just to check it out.
Yeah. Speaking of Tom King as well, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, exactly. And Stampery's artwork on the series is great. So I'm sure like she will be drawn beautifully.
yeah, and I just noticed. I think on one hand she's got a Green Lantern ring, and on the other she's got a
Oh
Legion of
shit.
Superheroes ring.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. And so
Yeah.
you just pointed that out.
Right. Yeah, I missed that when I looked at this earlier. Wow. Okay,
There's
that
gotta
makes it
be
even.
some
Yeah. Go
there's
ahead.
gotta be some significance with her blade too.
Yeah. Yeah, so all of those things are making it more interesting. Like she's this, you know, perfect supervillain or something because she's coming with all these different elements to her, and she
Mhm.
looks like an Amazon. So
Yeah,
interesting,
exactly.
very interesting.
I saw that and I'm like, "Oh, that might make me pick it up again." So I think I actually put it on my FOC because I wanted to check it out. I was like, "Man, I haven't read Wonder Woman in so long." And this current story arc is like this mouse land or something like that, like that's going on. I've just read like brief descriptions of it and I was like, "Yep, not reading that." So either is Joseph. He's like, "No, I'm not reading this book either."
Yeah, this is interesting though. She might be a part of the Dark Legion
Oh,
story, so that could make sense. Yeah,
yep, absolutely.
getting magic vibes from that design. Yeah, I could see that as well. Yeah, so
All right.
yeah, that's oh, and I did want to. Oops, wrong one. It scrolled on me. Cat's better at this. Big fan of the channel. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right. So our last news piece already here is on the Marvel side of things, and we've got yet another. Somebody mentioned this in the comments last week that every single character under the sun is killing the Marvel universe. Well, we've got another one. The Hulk. The Hulk is smashing everything. It's the Hulk versus
Yep.
the entire Marvel universe in an upcoming series, and it's coming December from Ryan North and Vincenzo Caratu, and they're unleashing the Hulk supposedly like never before in a 5-issue miniseries. So
I know. I mean, listen, it's the Hulk. It could be fun.
yeah,
It's one of those things where it just seems like we get a lot of miniseries and it's a lot of repetitive storytelling, but with different
right,
characters.
right,
And some could be more fun than others. So if you're into the Hulk and you like Hulk smash, like this is probably going to be the series for you, right? I mean,
yeah,
I'll definitely try it out because some of them are pretty good, you know?
yeah, yeah. It's I think I'll wait and see like a preview or something and see what it's look into it a little bit more. But we've got plenty of time, so
I mean, you got Godzilla kills the Marvel universe
yeah.
right now, and then you got Predator kills the
Predator.
Marvel universe, right? And so,
Deadpool's killed it like 3 times.
yeah, exactly. The actual Godzilla one this past week, the second issue, is actually pretty good. I liked it.
Was
It
it?
was better than the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Hulk smash everything.
Marvel is so creatively bankrupt.
All right, but that's it. That's all of the news that we have, so we're gonna jump into the comics and the big books, and then if I can stop being tongue tied, top 5. That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no news. I mean, since we
Yeah,
didn't have a show all summer last week when we dove into it, we had we had even more news pieces to
oh
talk
my
about
goodness,
and we cut them off.
we had like twice as many as we actually talked about. It was crazy.
Right. And we were like, there's no way we can talk about all these.
No,
All right. So let's talk about some comics, everybody. Listen, I thought that this week was actually a pretty solid week for books.
yeah,
When it came to like, I would say like Marvel had some good books. I would say DC had some books, but I think like the indie comics this week were just really, really good, and we'll definitely talk about those. Okay, so let's talk about first book here. Let's go into Absolute Batman issue 11. So this book is the book that tells the origin story with Bane. It's not too much different from the story that you know. There was a little differences in there. Um you do get to see the Joker in this book in the beginning of it, right? He's very much almost like a normal guy. Has a smile on his face. He's surrounded by hot women. You know, he has this entourage with him, right? Um, but the thing is like it kind of like gives you this origin story, and then at the end, it gives you like this what if scenario. And like I literally thought at first that Batman was getting beat to death, and that's what became of him. And then I'm
mhm,
sitting there going, that can't be right because then this series would be basically over. There's no way that that's Batman. And so I had to actually do a little bit of research to find out if this was actually true or not, because I was a little bit confused the way it was written. It's that's how Scott Snyder can be sometimes. So he gets so much into the story that he can overwhelm the reader at times. And being that Clay Mann was the artist in this one, the artwork was good, but there was so much story that it overshadowed the artwork, and it was hard to make out what was going on at times.
yeah. No, I agree with that, and because it was mostly told in captions too. It's one of those that's it's a little bit of a slog trying to get through. I found myself kind of trying to speed read through it a little bit because it was basically the same origin for Bane, just the little tweaks
Hmm.
here and there. So I was like, okay, I get where we're going with this, but I agree with you. Once we got into like the Batman stuff, it was confusing, and I actually read 10 and 11 like back to back, um, because I was a little bit behind, and I was like, when Bruce came, I'm assuming it's Bruce that came into that, place where he's trying to escape. They said he was 6'9" and 421 pounds. And I was very confused if they were talking about Bane, if they were talking about Bruce Wayne. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
there's no way Bruce Wayne's that big. No, that
that's
can't
what
be
they were
right.
saying. I think it
Yeah,
was Bruce though.
yeah, I do too. So I was totally confused throughout this entire story because of all of those, little threads. So, um, yeah, I'm a little lost on exactly what is happening. All I know is that Bane is in control somehow, and he's trying to break Batman. That's kind of what I get, but
And
at the
he's
same time, I'm not sure it's Batman. So,
and he's breaking Batman because of the
because
people that he's close to.
right,
And it has nothing to do that whole thing was just like an image in his head or whatever it is,
yeah,
kind of picturing how Batman is very similar to who he is, right? And
right,
if there's anybody that can go through a transformation, it would be Batman. He would be the
yeah,
one to go through the similar process.
yeah, for sure. So he's basically trying to turn Batman into himself.
And they also name dropped Deathstroke
And KG
and
Beast, yeah.
KG Beast. So it's like, are they for real, or was that just part of the dream or the you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man, but it was a little bit confusing. Not that it was bad, it was just kind of hard to make out what was going on in there.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. To answer this, did we get a chance to talk about Terrence Stamp who passed away? We did not mention that, I don't believe. If we did, I don't recall.
No,
Um,
we did not.
yeah,
But when you look at his role, I mean, the only thing honestly I really remember him in is Superman. Like that's the iconic movie for me, for
Yeah.
him in there. But I remember seeing Superman 2 in the movie theater when I was a little kid. And that movie for me was like top tier at the time. I love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure, and he was awesome as that's the only thing I really recall him from too. Apparently he was in Phantom Menace, so we definitely saw
Oh,
that.
was he really?
Actually, he was in a lot of things we probably saw. Elektra Wanted, Get Smart. I just don't remember.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, Superman
fantastic actor.
2.
I mean,
That
actor.
that whole thing was awesome. I just remember I was like, "Man, who are these evil Superman?" And they get trapped in this phantom zone and then they
Yeah,
escaped and just like they're in the town and like what was it in Times Square and then it's
yeah.
just like Superman gets thrown into the Coke sign and lifts everything. And then I remember when I was a kid I had the trading cards for that movie and
Oh yeah,
I was like, "Man, these are I don't even know what happened to all that stuff." Like probably got rid of it.
yeah. I remember like the the effects of that movie. It was so like new and crazy at the time. It's like, oh, they're in that little disc thing spinning away.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's so cool. Uh,
Yeah, man. It's awesome. They're like, and it's like the Phantom Zone, so they're just like, "Ooh,"
yeah,
it was hilarious.
Mike, you
Oh
might know
god.
this real quick. Is the J. Scott Campbell 1 in 100 coming out tomorrow? Do you happen to know that or no?
I didn't know that, but he goes, I might need to break the bank and buy it tomorrow.
Yeah,
So how much would it be? Would it be like $100 if it's a 1 in 100, or is it going to be more because it's J. Scott Campbell? Is it going to be like 250?
right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to find out while we continue talking.
So that's my thing. Very curious on that because usually his books tend to go for that much money when it comes if it's straight from his site.
Yeah,
All right, so we talked about Absolute Batman issue 11, so we're gonna move on to actually GI Joe issue 10. Um, GI Joe was a fun issue, man. I loved just the whole companionship between Clutch and Hound. I think is
yeah,
really cool on them trying to find out the Energon weapons. Destro figuring out some hidden secrets with Cobra Commander, which was a lot of fun. And then you get the main portion of the story where you got CoverGirl and Baroness fighting each other. And Major Blood is like, kill each other, kill each other. I'm going to have Raptor kill your parents. And, when I thought what happened with CoverGirl in the book, I thought she truly did kill her. I was like, oh shit, did she
yeah.
actually kill her? I'm like, no way.
Right. Yeah, I thought the same thing. And then, obviously it was a ruse, but, no, I love that fight though. And it threw you because for a minute, I was like, "Oh, wait, are they flipping the script? Is CoverGirl going dark and Baroness staying good? Is that what's happening here?" And then, of course, that wasn't the case. So love the way that whole thing played out. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
it was. You
yeah,
like seeing the cliffhanger?
I'm trying to remember what the cliffhanger was.
It was Hound in the so they like went into the Cobra base, right?
Right.
And then you got Mercer and you got the Vipers,
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
like,
and
oh
that dude followed him.
yeah, and then
Right.
and then Mercer's like, oh, we got you now,
And
and
then
they're
he's
like,
coming from behind. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and he's like,
Yeah,
are
yeah,
you
yeah.
sure about that? And Hound is right behind them, and they have no idea.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I can't wait for that reveal.
Yeah, they're
That's gonna
probably
be
gonna freak out, dude. They're gonna be like, what is this?
yeah, and that other dude thinks that Clutch has turned to Cobra, and that's why he followed him and everything. So a lot, lot
Yeah.
of, lot of twists and turns in this book. I'm loving where it's at right now. So just
Yep.
fun.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
great issue for me.
it looks like that cover is sold out on his website. It was on his website. It was 112.50, but it was it was 125 originally.
Oh, it was 125.
Yeah.
And probably the other ones too are probably sold out on top of it because all the Virgin ones, like the Virgin ones, are the ones that
Yeah, that
tend
was
to
the one
be
I
on
looked
this
at.
website. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are the
yeah.
ones in 1 in 100s.
Right.
The
So I'm
trade
not sure.
dresses are the ones you can get at the store.
Right. So I'm not sure about that one. The Virgin one came out last week, so I'm not sure about the
Gotcha.
trade. I didn't see it in the list on the League of Comic Geeks, so I'm not positive on
All right. Let's see. G.I. Joe was awesome. Lots of different fronts. It reminded me of Larry Hama's Real American Hero.
it. Yep.
Pretty cool.
That's high praise to any GI Joe comic, I think.
Here's one. I got one here. Since it's you two and you're both Transformer fans, I was wondering, have you both read the Marvel Comics Compendium of the Comics yet? Nope.
You have
I
it.
haven't.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Nice.
It's right there. It's I haven't even taken out of the plastic yet, but I bought it. So if I ever get around to it, I'll definitely read it. The funny thing, this is the lightest thing on the planet, dude. Like I can throw this thing 30 feet and it's just like, it's like old school comics. Like,
Yeah.
but that's what keeps the cost down for it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't pay very much money for it. I'm trying to remember even what I paid for it, but it gets you like 30 something issues or something like that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's also older material. They would have had to remaster it to use, like, they probably used like a lighter paper and stuff like that. Because,
Yeah. Some pretty cool stuff.
yeah, that's cool. I haven't read it either. So,
Oh, this is funny too. It's crazy that Batman issue 1 comes out next week, but the Jim Lee Batman Hutch storyline 2 finishes in October. They fell behind on that, man.
yeah.
I don't get it. You had so much time to make this comic and it fell behind so bad, so bad. It just reminds me of the Superman Unchained days. It really
Yeah.
does.
It's Jim Lee. I love Jim Lee to death, but dude can't be on a schedule these days. And they probably should have finished it before they marketed it.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. All
There was
right.
another comment I saw.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Let me see if I can find it again.
Probably got lost in there.
Yeah. No, I can't find it. All right, we'll move on. If I find it later, I'll bring it up.
Okay, gotcha. All right, guys. So now we're going to talk about part of the topic of the video, I guess, is the Black Cat issue 1. So this is the newest series.
Oh, I found it
go ahead.
real quick because it might be related to this. I'm new to comics. What's special about this new comic? I'm curious if that's about our thumbnail, if it's about one of those books, Black Cat or Spider-Gwen, or what book. So drop in the comments which book you're asking about, and we'll address that.
Gotcha. So yeah, Black Cat issue 1. So we get this new Black Cat series. It's written by G. Willow Wilson. And you know what? I thought it was pretty good. I liked the artwork in it. I think it was fun. I liked how she was fighting the lizard to get back to her hideout. And then I like how it kind of ties into the Amazing Spider-Man comic, how it goes into those events.
Yeah.
I think it was tied into this most recent issue because obviously she's trying to get with Peter and this new Spider-Man like blows her off. She's trying to get in contact with him and she's like, hey, I care about you. I want to know what's going on and all these other different things like that. And so I thought it was a solid issue. I'm trying to remember how it ended. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, it was like one of the first books I read, and I can't remember how it ended either.
It
It might have
mine
been the
too.
first book I read. Let's see. I remember like she got with her old crew again that we've seen pop up here and there, which I
Yep.
thought was cool. Oh, you got it handy? Good.
I just gotta find it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Here it is. Okay.
But yeah, no,
So
I agree with you. It was I enjoyed it as well. I liked her voice on it. It was different than Jed McKay's, but at the same
yes.
time, I got Miss Marvel vibes from it at times. Like just the humor and the pacing was similar to what
Right.
was early Miss Marvel. Yeah.
So it was just her having this conversation with Night Nurse about when she was getting healed with the battle It
Yeah.
was literally about, okay, well, Spider-Man is not here right now. I
I've
need to
got to be
take
a
his
hero.
place, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be the hero at the
Right.
moment. And I like her monologue in here and everything else. It's just like kind of like it tries to play in all angles. Like she tries to be this um like this seductive female character, at the same time as a hero, and I like that. I thought it was well done that way. And then I like how the big cliffhanger of it all is you got Tombstone kind of keeping tabs on her, wondering, well, what's she gonna do? Is she still gonna work for us? Is she still gonna be this hero type? And then Sandman is by his side as well. So that was the end there. So I
Yeah.
definitely think as long as Marvel gives her a chance to write this story, I think it's going to be a pretty solid read.
Yeah. No, I agree. And just want to shout out Planeswalker here. That's cool that you got your comic signed by G Willow. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that
awesome.
is very awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree with you. It was as much as I loved that original Marvel Miss Marvel run, I was so into the Jed McKay run. I was just a little hesitant about this one. I wasn't sure if it was gonna, be as good just because she's become synonymous with Jed McKay for me. He just did such a wonderful job with that series.
Ye-
So
Yeah,
I was a little
I
nervous.
agree.
Yeah,
But
but
wait,
yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just because of when she writes Poison Ivy, and
Mhm.
I've never read that many Poison Ivy comic books, and she got me into that character. I
Yeah.
was like, dang, if she can do this with Poison Ivy, like, what is she gonna do with a character that I actually like? You
Yeah.
know?
No, I totally agree with you, and I think she did a wonderful job with this first issue. So
And
I'm
I think that's
definitely
why she made me like Miss Marvel too,
yeah.
because it was a character that we've never known, so we had nothing to go back on.
Mhm.
And then it was like, oh wow, she writes Miss Marvel. This is a cool character, and now Miss Marvel's not written that way, and G. Willow Wilson is the only one that could write her that way. So I just think that the more and more G. Willow Wilson material we read, I think she is a very talented writer.
Yeah, I agree, and I also love that, like you said, this connects to current stuff going on. It also pays tribute to stuff that Jed McKay put out there with her, the supporting cast, Boris, and the other guy. I can't I can never remember the other guy's name. I know it starts with a B. But,
Okay.
that crew she hooks up with and
Yeah.
all of that, so it's pulling all these things together into the series, which is really cool as well, so, yeah, great start to
Cool.
this book.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go on to number 5. And my number 5 this week was actually the book that's written by Jerry Duggan, and the art is done by Jay Lee. And it's called This Ends Tonight. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's a 3-issue series, and it just takes place in like different times of, I don't even know, man. It's like
Yeah.
almost reminds me of like a Quentin Tarantino thing, because the first
Absolutely.
Fish issue started off something completely different. This issue has one of these girls who is like getting married or whatever it is, and she's having her bachelorette party, and her people that she's with are also supposed to protect her. So there's this bounty on all these women's head, and they're like taking on these hitmen at the same time, while this girl is living it up and trying to have her bachelor party, and then she's got to get to her wedding on time the next day. And all this takes place in Vegas and everything. The artwork is absolutely superb. It's in your face. I loved every single panel of this, even though it just seemed completely almost different than issue 1.
Yeah.
I really like this issue.
So, I read both of these issues back to back. This was
Uh-huh.
one that I'd wanted to read, before, and when I saw issue 2 was coming out, I was like, "Okay, I can read issue 1 now and just, talk about this." So, I really like this too, and I agree with you. It is definitely like a Tarantino film. So, in issue 1, you see the characters from issue 2 pop in. They like go through it in a scene. Like I think they're riding on the motorcycle at that point, and they cut
Okay.
through the scene. And in this issue, you see the characters from issue 1 fighting around them. So all of them are like interconnected, and they're all dealing with the fixer. So they're all tied into that plot thread, but they're not tied into each other. And I'm assuming there's a third group for that third issue as well that we've probably seen already as also. So it'll probably all come together next issue, which
Right.
I think it's really interesting the way that it's paced and plotted in that way that you're following multiple storylines throughout these issues and meeting multiple character groups and all this stuff. It's really interesting and fun.
I
It's just a lot of fun.
it would be good to probably read this one, obviously, when, the 3rd issue comes out, and then you read them, like, back to back to back, so then you
Yeah.
get all the ins and outs of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think
So
there was even a line in the first issue where they said, we'll see these later, or we'll get back to these two later, or something like that.
right.
So, and that was the
Yeah.
second issue.
Just I love the action in that book,
Yeah,
and then just protecting this girl at all
and she's
costs. I mean,
oblivious to all of it
yeah,
around her.
man.
That's
She's
crazy.
just, like, drunk, and she's
Yeah,
just, like, living it up, and just it's so funny, man.
yeah,
So good, so good.
it's
All
really
right, so do you have a top 5 this week?
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with that as my number 5 as well. It
Okay.
was between that one and one other, so I'll go with that one.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so now we move on to, uh, let's talk about The Amazing Spider-Man issue 10. So, listen, I this book went in a direction with this other Spider-Man that I was not expecting. Um, it's like you have a Spider-Man and then you have a Peter Parker.
Yeah, that
What's
didn't.
under that mask?
Right, that did not go where I thought it was going either. Like, if anyone remembers last week, I was like, maybe it's Ben because he's
Yep.
got the web shooters on his wrists and ankles like Ben. But when they've come face to face and they realize, hey, you're not Spider-Man, you're not Peter Parker, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I don't
Yeah.
understand what's happening here at
And
all.
this other Spider-Man, he's just like he's like ruthless. He
Yeah.
doesn't care, and he doesn't
So,
say anything, right? And
so
Peter
let me ask.
Parker's what's
Yeah.
that?
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, and then I'll say something.
And I was gonna say, and Peter Parker's just obviously pissed off of everything that goes on, but he's not gonna do whatever it is that he's never gonna act like this other Spider-Man, as angry as he is.
Right. So we mentioned the early Superman movies earlier in the show. Are they doing with Superman? I mean, are they doing with Spider-Man what they did with Superman? Are they splitting him into two separate people? So the ruthless side is one aspect of Spider-Man, and the other side is like the friendly, doesn't want any violence or problems. Is that what we're seeing here?
Was
Or
that
is
like a Superman, like, blue, or like
yeah,
the
red and blue, or
red
yeah,
and blue thing? Yeah.
maybe
Maybe.
it's weird. I don't know.
Maybe
I
he did it in his, like, at work he did it.
Right, like something happened at work and he's kind of split himself into two different people or something, or I don't know. I don't think they're going Clone Saga. Somebody said in the comments it's a Clone Saga all over again. I hope that's not the direction they're going in.
Yeah.
We don't need that again. Um, but considering the future, the near future of this series, and where there's going to be a Spider-Man in space, what that confuses things even more. Now
Yeah.
I'm
Like, how do
completely
we
lost.
get there? How do we get
Right,
Spider-Man in cosmic, right?
right. Unless he's joining the Fantastic Four again, but they're lost across time, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We can totally make up a different story. Oh, this takes place at a different time. And we
right.
we know that the continuity doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't it like you said, it went a completely different direction than I was thinking it was gonna go. So I'm totally confused now. I have no
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. But I like it though. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind
It's
of
something
like the way
different.
it's
Yeah.
written.
Mhm.
It's written well.
It is.
That I can say. And the artwork on this story is good too. It's not
It
it's
won't
not
lie.
John Romita Jr., somebody different. But it has a much edgier side to it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like the art in this one. I like the writing. I like the twist because it leaves us guessing. It's a mystery, which I love. So yeah, Okay, this kind of won me back over because I was getting a little like through the Hell's Gate stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I'm liking this and that kind of thing. And now we do this, and it's like, okay, this is at least something different, maybe that we
Yeah.
haven't seen. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. Let's keep our fingers crossed that
right.
continues to go in a positive direction. Maybe we'll like Cosmic Spider-Man. Who knows?
Never know.
We'll see. All right. So we're going to talk about now Absolute Flash. This is issue 6. So this is a book where we got to see a little bit of finally some character development. You got to see the introduction to the rogues and how they're recruited, and then obviously Wally's dad wound up making a mistake at the end of the day, going, "What did I do?" So,
Yeah,
but nevertheless, it was cool seeing all these characters and where they came from.
yeah. No, I agree. I love the Flash Rogues anyway. So this version of them, we'd only seen like bits and pieces of them up until this point, as they're chasing them. So it was
Mhm.
nice to kind of go back a little bit and see how they all came together. See that they were a military unit that went rogue. I thought that was pretty cool, especially because it's a play to the name, the Rogues, and all of that, and what happened to them, uh, and just I don't know. It was kind of cool that it was Wally's dad that's pulling them together, and Barry was kind of a jerk in this, so that was interesting too. Professor Thawne is obviously a woman in this universe, so all those parts, all those familiar Flash, archetypes are coming together in a much different way, and now they're working like almost like a Suicide Squad.
Yep.
You work for
Yeah.
us, or you go to prison for the rest of your life. So yeah, I liked it quite a bit. So it was
Good.
nice to because my one nitpick with this series, which I mentioned last week, was that it was so decompressed that we're just seeing him a little bit more on the run every issue, and now we got
E-
something different. Yeah, one
Exactly.
yeah,
Yep. That and the artwork. And we
yeah,
still don't have the regular artist from the original story arc on there either, which I'm a little disappointed. Here's a good one. Some comic fans think that Spider-Man in the outer web with the outer web shooters is
mm,
Norman Osborn, maybe.
that's interesting.
That could be,
I mean, he's been every other kind of character at this point. Why not?
right? Why not have him be Spider-Man, right?
How would he get the spider powers though?
Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure.
I don't know. I don't think it's Ben anymore though.
It's not Ben because he's Chasm.
Yeah, I just thought maybe they were gonna, abandon that altogether and
Yeah, no, you can just get rid of that. Like he's like
yeah,
physically altered. He
yeah.
can't be like, hey, all of a sudden, hey guys, I'm back to normal again.
Maybe it's Kane.
Maybe.
Could be Kane. Could be somebody.
Where's he been though? Like
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah. I don't know.
It's Spider Paul.
It's Harry.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
always Harry.
Yeah, right. It's Mary Jane, guys.
I'm trying to think who would be that cold, and I mean Norman's a good guess, but who would go to space too? So
I
that
don't know.
right, like that loses me. It's like
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, I
please don't
agree.
let it be Paul. Like Paul went dark after Mary Jane dumped him and became Spider Paul.
I can't wait for
Uh,
the next issue of Venom. I just need to see like what does happen to Paul, right?
yeah, I do believe he was perched on some things, so that's where I'm getting it. That he can clean the walls at least, but that could be tech too. So
Yeah,
I
it
don't
could
know.
be tech. Maybe his outer things that he uses for webbing, maybe they're magnetic too. Because you
Oh,
notice how they're on his ankles.
yeah,
So maybe he uses it to crawl or some kind of magnetic, or somehow he uses it to magnetize to all surfaces or something.
yeah, yeah. You could go multiple directions with this, and
Yeah.
I love that they're keeping us guessing, and I hope it's not somebody that we're expecting it.
Right. I agree. I agree. All right. So let's talk about Escape. Issue 1 is the new Rick Remender book where it takes place in World War II. We got the animals in there, posing as people, of course. And this book was tough to read. I felt bad for them because they're trying to destroy the enemy by dropping this bomb, and then they get, um they got another enemy plane on their tail, and you slowly see the demise of this airplane coming down, but they're going to do whatever it takes to try to get that package delivered and take on the enemy. And but he loses all his brothers along the way, and then he plane crashes, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, but I loved it. I loved how it was like it had me at the edge of my seat. It was like an opening scene of a movie or
Hmm.
something, you know.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. And then reading the letters page at the end of it
Yeah.
was the inspiration of Rick Remender on why he wrote that book to begin with.
Yeah, that's the part that really connected with me. My grandfather was also in World War II, and he never talked about it. He hated talking about it. He
Yeah.
was, I only heard bits and pieces here and there, so I can only imagine, that connection. So I get that. I totally related to that. Um, what I'll say is the story was very well written. It was very well paced. The art's really good. It was an emotional roller coaster seeing him lose all his people and everything. My my thing is I don't think it's for me because one, aside from GI Joe, I'm not big into war stories like that.
Sure.
It's really hard for me to get into them. Um and probably because of the realness of it, even though we're
Yeah.
dealing with anthropomorphic characters here, I just sometimes I have a problem with stuff super real like that. Um and also it's hard to it's hard to empathize with characters in that nature because regardless of how bad these people are, they're bombing civilians and they're
Mhm.
willfully doing it. And it's like, it's hard to connect to a character when they're doing something like that and stuff. So, great book, fantastic book. If you like war stuff, definitely read this. It's so well written. I just don't think it's for me. That's all I'll
Right.
say.
I could totally respect that. I mean, I'm not normally into war books either.
Yeah,
But I'm very curious on seeing what happens. I think his name was Milton,
yeah,
to the main character of Milton, to see what he goes through. Because again, we still haven't really got to the meat of the story yet, because we got to figure out how is he going to get out of this place before it gets bombed.
yeah,
Because that was the plan there.
yeah,
And then it looks like he's going to be working with people that is the enemy, you know? So
yeah.
that will be an interesting story to see.
Absolutely, and I will say if this was a movie, I probably would watch it.
Right.
So, that says something, because I don't watch many war movies, so
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very. It is. It is a very realistic book. And I mentioned that when I talked about it in my review. I sat there and I said, man, for some people that may have been part of the military or served, and they've suffered traumatic effects and
yeah.
or going through PTSD or something like that, this is something that you got to stay away from, because this could hurt hard,
Yeah, yeah,
hit you hard,
right.
So yeah, but it is definitely a well written book. All right. So let's talk about our number four. My number four this week was that's funny. It's Escape issue one.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I won't copy you this time. So, my number 4 is I think this is also an Image but no, it might be Mad Cape, actually. Eat Your Young, issue 1.
Oh, you like that book? I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? I liked it.
No. Oh
Okay.
no.
I enjoyed it. I
Did
liked
you? I just
yeah.
I don't know
What
what it
about it
was.
didn't you like?
I don't think I could get past the characters in there for some reason.
Okay.
And because there were so many of them,
Yeah,
right? The
there were a
dude's
lot.
got like 30 kids,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, well, I don't want to be this immortality type of person anymore, and I have to figure out who am I going to pass this privilege to. And he's got to like interview everybody, and then there was all this like sitting around and talking, and I'm just like, oh my god, like there's just so much to take in here. And then you got
Yeah.
the little kid that's being killed and
Yeah.
everything else, and is in the hospital. And I could not find myself getting attached to any of the characters in the book to where I would like this book. And that was the issue with it for me.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. I get that. Um, and I could see how that would be, like, discouraging to read because it is a lot to go through. for me, I guess the concept won me over to begin with. I really like
Mm-hmm.
the immortality thing, and I like the concept of all the kids being at war with each other and wanting to kill each other. I just think that's kind of hilarious. Even and you kind of get the impression that they're all from like different mothers and everything, so they're different families. They're related, but they don't really know each other. Um, some of them are much older than the others because they've been living for a long time. All the kids are immortal until like this night at midnight, and then
Right.
whoever when the father dies, they all become mortal except the one that drinks his blood, which is just gruesome. It's vampiric almost,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know. It seems fun to me. I don't know what that says about me, but I enjoyed that aspect of it, and I'm curious to see like which one actually becomes the new immortal character in this. Which one actually wins, and how many of these characters are going to die in the process? You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm just here for the ride, I guess. So,
Gotcha.
but
No,
but
I'm
I
glad
get
you
it.
like the concept of it.
Yeah, yeah,
We do have a comment here. It says,
yeah.
I recently got done with Rick's Grommets trade. I have to say I found it very interesting for sure.
Love that
The
book.
the one thing about Rick Remender that I've noticed in the past, I guess, year, is just a different style of books that he's been coming out with, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. From Sacrificers to Grommets to now this, totally different genres, totally different
Yep.
tones. I mean, you got slice of life, you got war, you got fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Shows
all
you
over the
like
place. His range.
the writing talent that he actually does have.
Yeah, and like one of his bigger books in recent memory was it called Black Science or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's sci-fi as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So definitely a very talented writer for
Hmm.
sure. All right. So let's move on to Battle Beast issue 4. Um, this issue was kind of, if you want to say something about it, it was not a lot of action in this one. There wasn't a lot of fighting or gruesomeness like you would normally get in a
Yeah.
Battle Beast book. Not as much.
I mean, he was
But
knocked out for half the
right.
issue. So
Right, but I found it funny as they're trying to go find this Juggernaut character, and there's this, like, hot alien chick, and they get attracted to, and they're like, "Oh, we need to free her," and she becomes, like, this old hag. So it reminded me of, like, Hansel and Gretel. It was like, "Oh, here,
yeah,
come to my house, and, like, I'm gonna eat you," type of storyline. I was like, "Oh, wow, that's." But then she winds up finding out who the little alien dude is, and it looks like he's gonna regenerate, and she makes him a sword, and then we're getting ready for the battle that's at hand, and you got to see Juggernaut like at the end of the issue.
yeah,
So it's kind of like a setup issue, but I enjoyed it. It didn't make
yeah.
my top 5 this time around, but I
No.
did really enjoy it.
Yeah, so last week we talked about this book. Cat dropped it,
Yeah,
wasn't enjoying it. I
yeah,
was behind, and Mike was enjoying it. So I'd only read the first issue. I'd read like a few. I once I went back and reread it. I had read a few pages of issue 2, but I for whatever reason I stopped in the middle of it. So I went back and reread issue 1, and then I read all 4 issues back to back right before I went to sleep last night. So it's all fresh in my mind now. It's probably jumbling a little bit together. But reading it as a whole, back to back like that, I actually am enjoying this series now. I agree with you. This one was a little bit slower than the rest of them because there wasn't that big fight. But I like the setup to get to Juggernaut, and that's where we're
right.
headed now. That's what's going to go down next issue. Um, as a whole, though, I'm kind of loving the tongue-in-cheek humor of it, and this, are you going to eat me? Can I weasel my way out of this with the little character, Prince Salaka or whatever his name is? And I'm kind of loving the banter between them and the ship that's constantly trying to kill him and everything. So all those elements put together, I it's a fun book. It's a fun
Yeah.
book. I can get where it's not for everybody, and it's definitely not invincible, but I'm enjoying the ride now that I've caught up.
Yeah, and the funny thing is you have this rough and tough Battle Beast character.
Yeah.
The first time you got to see a little bit of that breakdown, just a little bit, and shown some mercy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he saves the little alien dude. He gives that witch the time of day. And
Yeah.
it's just like, and he saved her originally, and then it was like she wanted to give him a kiss. It was so funny though,
Yeah.
man.
It's
It's fun.
Yeah, it's like when you think of it in terms of like live action or whatever, you could see like this almost like a buddy cop kind of thing where you got this one character that's trying to just stay alive and stay on his good graces and everything. And then you got this overwhelming big giant character that inside is probably a core of goo underneath all the violence and the eating everybody. But just like the little moments where he's like thinks about it for a second and he's like, I'll allow it.
Yeah,
Or it's like,
yeah.
that's acceptable. Just things like that. I hear that little like just the tone of comedic element in my head when I read it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a well done book. I listen, not every book is for everybody. I totally
Right.
get that, but for me, I love it. I think it's phenomenal. I like how it's not attached to Invincible. The only
Mhm.
thing that makes it attached to Invincible is because it's a character from the universe,
Yeah.
and they don't force any other Invincible characters in there, and it's its
Yeah.
own thing. So that's
Yeah.
what I like about it.
Yeah. I could see us like if this continues in any shape or form. I don't know how long this is going to be at this point. Um, but if it continues, I could see us like if he ran across other characters that popped up through Invincible, I'd be fine with that. But yeah, I
Right.
agree with you. You can read this without having read Invincible
Yeah,
and enjoy it for what it is.
absolutely. All right. So let's move on to Superman Unlimited. So you didn't read this one,
No.
right? Okay. So what's going on with Super Unlimited? It just feels like it's like watching the Adventures of Superman or something like that. It
Okay.
seems like it's a one and done story every time it comes out, because this time around you have Superman who is rescuing this girl from a building who is falling off, who is vlogging, right? Of course,
Of course.
and she has kryptonite jewelry, and he saves her, but he's weak,
Yeah.
and then he gives him a kiss, right? So then the next thing you find out is that he's weak. Man Bat comes out, and it's a different bat who can actually spread the virus. It's not just to
Mm.
him. So since Superman is weakened, Man Bat bites his forearm, and he slowly transforms into a man bot. A man bot? Man
Man
bat.
bot.
So what happens is now you get to see the other heroes come, like the Birds of Prey. They come with Damian, and they have to try to stop Superman before this
Mm.
virus spreads.
Okay.
They succeed, and that's kind of like the end of the issue. No real overarching thing. The only thing that feels like it's overarching is just because of that kryptonite that has
Kryptonite.
hit, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
the world, and it's everywhere. That's
Yeah.
basically what this story is about.
Gotcha. Yeah, I because I fell behind on all my comics when I was moving over the summer. I This is one of the books that I never continued past issue 1, so I'm just way behind on it. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So it's fun. It's
Yeah.
just if you're looking for like a overarching story, like the regular Superman or whatever it
Yeah.
is, that's not what this is. This just
Gotcha.
seems like something completely different from that, which
Okay.
is okay, because you
Yeah.
don't need all these different Superman books with, huge story plots, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about the other book that is mentioned on our thumbnail today. It's All New Spider-Gwen Go Spider issue 1. So this one is the continuation from basically Stephanie Phillips,
Yeah.
right? So she wrote this one. And you get kind of just like everything that's going on with Gwen at this point. I feel like this book tries to do a decent job at catching readers up of everything, that's happened to her. We got her little boyfriend, I guess.
Yeah.
What's his name? Black
Uh,
Tarantula.
is it Fabian maybe?
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that. But
I think it's Fabian.
so you get that, and then like he has some like little emo moment, and he leaves, and then and then you just wind up getting, Gwen being herself, trying to get her band back together. You get her dad, interactions with her dad and whatnot. And then at the end of it, you get this mystery. I would say it's like a symbiote or venom that winds
Yeah,
up healing a potential bandmate
yeah,
in the book. So I liked it. I liked the artwork. I like how it was a little edgier and a little bit darker,
yeah,
just because the city and everything else. Um, I did think the beginning was a little bit bogged down, though. I didn't like the beginning as much, but and in the end, I liked Gwen and I like her situation. But by me seeing another symbiote creature, I was like, I don't know if I like that part. I'm not
yeah.
saying that the book was bad. I'm just saying that that particular part of the story, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I wanted to go there so soon.
Yeah, I got you. Real quick, Meyer HQ. I actually really like Stephanie Phillips and I like Spider Gwen too. So, and I'm not on Twitter, but anyway, just putting that out there. But I totally get it. A lot of people don't love her run on the book, but a lot of people do. So I think it's like very polarizing this run. For me, I fall on the side of I like it.
Hmm.
Just to give a little background, I know you read the last. I think you read the last issue of
I
the last.
did. I
Yeah.
did.
To give a little context, in the last arc of the last series, she had the cosmic cube, and she had these powers to reshape the universe. It was a whole plot with Loki and everything. And by the end of it, she decided not to go back to her old universe, not to and to change it up and do something a little different. And so that's why we have her father in this universe now. She's kind of rewritten reality to where he's with her because she couldn't go back to her home. And she also no longer has her symbiote costume, which I
Yes.
think might play into this symbiote at the end. So maybe because she got rid of that symbiote costume, somehow it lingered and became this other thing. I'm not sure if that's where they're going,
Right.
but that could be a direction that they go with it. Um,
Right.
and I that would make sense to me. If it's not that, I don't know why they're just throwing a random symbiote at her already.
Yeah.
That seems a little forced to me, but I agree with you because they had to, kind of recap everything, and because it's, where you're starting off with a new number one every time there's a new arc of this book. It was a little bit bogged down, and there was a lot of information to take in. But
Right.
I do like that she's got her dad back. He's a cop again. You have that dynamic from when she was in her own universe that I like.
Hmm.
I
And
think,
you need that supporting cast.
yeah, and I like that she's trying to get the band back together. I like there's a murder mystery behind that now. Um, I do. What I will say is, I think they integrated her better than they did Miles. And I love Miles, Cody Ziegler's Miles, but when he first became part of the main universe and the way he was handled there and the way his supporting cast was
There's
handled,
nobody.
yeah, I just don't think they did that as well as this book did with her bringing her father in and trying to get those elements that made her special in the first place back in place. I just think it was better done here, even though it's not a perfect book by any stretch,
Right.
but I do enjoy it, and yeah, I don't know. I'll see where this symbiote thing goes, but I like Stephanie Phillips' writing, so I'm gonna stick with it. But I could totally understand if it goes, if it starts to go the way of previous runs that maybe you or others might drop off of it. I could see that. But
I'm gonna continue it. I
cool.
I liked it. I didn't
Yeah,
like
nice.
it. If I had to compare, so again, obviously this live stream is about Black Cat and Spider-Gwen and our first impressions. I thought my first impression of Black Cat was, oh, this has some really good potential to be solid if as long as readers give it a chance, you
Yeah,
know. Um, and then when I see Spider Gwen, I see almost more of the same um, right now because it's like a recap,
yeah,
and then it's like a symbiote, and it's
yeah,
like we're trying to hit on things that people are familiar with instead of starting with something different and
yeah,
completely new,
yeah. I agree with that.
So if I compared the two, I think if I remember correctly, I rated um, Black Cat a B plus, and I rated um, Spider Gwen a C plus.
Yeah,
So
I could
that's
see.
kind
I
of
could
where
agree
I'm
with that.
looking at with those two.
Yeah, I completely agree with that estimation. Yeah. I do want to address this. Tevye says the retcon destroys the death of Gwen Stacy. I disagree with that. This is a completely different version of the character, and I would to say that as to say that Jeff Johns Barry Allen destroys the death of Barry Allen in Crisis. I
Yeah.
just I don't equate the two. You know,
It doesn't retcon it, because this is at the end of the day, when you look at it, this is still another Gwen Stacy from a different universe.
yeah, and
That's or a different Earth. That's
and in
what it
my
is.
right in my comparison, it was the same character. So I mean, if anything was going to destroy a death, but it enough time had passed. You know, Gwen Stacy died a long time ago, and yeah, we brought her back a million times in different ways and stuff. But this isn't that. This is a different character from a different universe,
Yeah.
and I don't mind that as much. So, and she's much younger. She's got spider powers. This is a totally different character altogether.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right. Cool. All right, so let's move on now. We're going to talk about, where are we at here? We're at number
I think we're
3.
number 3, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, number 3 was Hyde Street issue 8 for me.
Okay.
Do you read this or no?
Yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, I do.
So I just love Ivan Reis's artwork on this book. I mean, it just makes it feel like such a horror book, and the detail that goes into it is amazing. But I just love the interactions in this book between Pranky and Mr. X-Ray on trying to get that werewolf mask off of him. And it reminded me of Jim Carrey's mask. That's exactly what this reminded me of. And then they got to go to this creepy doctor by the name of Dr. Ego. And we also get introduced to the sisterhood in this book that obviously just came off of their spinoff series. So that was really awesome too. I just love everything about this book. And I love how it's just a different story. It's not just this horror story with like an anthology, it's just like it has an overarching story about the 10,000 souls. And then when it doesn't focus on that, it had something else going on in it, so it's a good read, man. I have a good time with it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I really like that we finally got to see like what the X-ray glasses do too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when he put them on him to try to, and now we're gonna go to like this butcher character, which is the doctor. That's what's coming up next, which I love that tease that like
Yep.
this dude is just it's bad news for everybody in Hyde Street and stuff. So it's one of those things. I love the concept of this book where they took those stupid ads in the back of the comics back in the day and made stories out of them. That's what this is, and it's just really cool. It's a fun book to read for sure.
I like when you got introduced to the doctor and he's like trying to perform this surgery on this
With
guy.
anesthesia, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hey, wait, am I gonna get anesthesia? Oh, no, let's just go for it, man.
I think he's still alive. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then you got the stupid nurses talking behind the counter. They're like talking gossip. Oh my Lord.
And then like taking clonazepam, and then like, you're rude for interrupting us in our gossip fest to get help for your friend.
It's so good, dude. And then you got like Miss Goodbody, who's still trapped in her store, and she like doesn't leave. It's nuts. It's so crazy. Love that book, man. It's
a good
great
book. Yeah, it was just outside my top 5. It's my number 6. But
gotcha.
I did enjoy it. Yeah. So
what was yours then?
My number 3 is a book we already talked about, which is Black Cat. So
okay, cool. Very good. All right. So let's move on here to let's talk about the new number 1. We got Justice League Red. This is issue 1. So this is a miniseries. I didn't realize it was a miniseries until later on. Okay. And so we got Red Tornado, who comes up with this team that is like a covert team, and they have to, I guess, do these missions without the Justice League knowing. Because of the assembly of the Justice League, it's going to cause these bad events. Mm-hmm. So if these other guys do these missions, I guess these events won't happen. So that's kind of like what this book is about. And being that this is a limited series, I was a little bit disappointed that you don't get the full roster in
Yeah.
this first issue either.
I didn't realize it was a limited series, and that now that you tell me that, I'm like, oh, so we're just gonna get a couple of these every issue, and then the last issue we're finally gonna get them all together. That's kind of lame. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
And so immediately, what this put me in mind of when I heard the concept was that that X book with Forge, where he got that team together to prevent all these crises and try.
That was X-Force.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I was a little like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not," but, it was better than I expected, but now hearing it's a limited series kinda disappoints me. Um, I so it feels like there's more to it, and I don't think we're gonna get there now. If because you don't know if Red Tornado's compromised or not, if he's leading them down the
Exactly.
wrong path or not. I do like that he's keeping it a tight knit group. At first, I was like, "Oh, we're just throwing a bunch of characters that are not being used together in a group." But because of the reasoning behind it, at least it makes sense. And I think the two characters that they focused on, Simon Baz and Power Girl, um, were well done in this issue. And I like, they fought this big robot that they thought was a threat, and it turns out it was just trying to get food to these people. And it's like, why is this a threat? Why
Yeah.
is this? Yeah, so you get a little bit of mystery, you get a little bit of intrigue and confusion and all the elements of a good story. But yeah, if you're cutting it short like that, that doesn't give me high hopes for the ultimate plot of it. So
Yeah, maybe Tornado is messed up, because remember when you
yeah,
saw him in the first page, he was
he's like in
like
pieces. Yeah,
yeah, so I wonder if he is malfunctioned. So
and maybe it leads into something else. If it leads into something else, then okay, cool.
right.
So we'll just have to
Uh,
see, I guess. Are you going to come back for the second issues?
yeah, I'll try it again.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I will too.
absolutely. There's this one comment here from Lewis. It says, "Still curious about why Pranky won't leave Hyde Street." I think, since we saw a small glimpse of what's going on with him with the X-ray glasses, I think it probably has to do with that. I think him going back into the outside, I think he's afraid of it.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
agree.
it's just easier for him to stay here and cause problems instead of dealing with the problems of the real world. Because I
Yeah,
think he went through something very traumatic.
yeah, I completely agree.
All right, so let's move on here. We are on let's go to Imperial issue 3.
Okay.
I I I just can't get into this book. I just can't. I don't know what it. First issue, I read it. It was like a bore fest for me until the
Mhm.
end. Second issue, I actually liked the second issue, right? Then the third issue comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, like it's just so much. It's like typical Jonathan Hickman books,
Mhm.
right? It's just like so much for me. And I don't have that connection to the cosmic universe, I would
Yeah.
say. It's not that I dislike them, but I don't like them enough to like really get into an event like this. And it's just like I just felt that the whole conversation between, who was the Inhuman that was
Uh,
talking?
is it Maximus? Is that his name? It's Black Bolt's
May
brother.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was what, the Grandmaster, they were
Yeah.
all talking with each other and playing this, coming up with the game and everything else. Like that took forever, and I couldn't even begin to remember everything that went on in this issue, because it's at the point where I was like, "Oh my, I don't
Yeah.
care. I
I'm I
really just don't care."
yeah, I'm actually surprised you're still reading this. I know this is not your thing.
Right.
So I thought you'd drop it after the first issue, but um it's a little more my thing because I do like the cosmic side of Marvel. I like Guardians. I love Nova. We got Peter Quill and Nova in this issue, so I enjoyed them. We got Shuri from Wakanda, um, but I totally get it because that conversation between them, it was all issue long and it was a lot to take in. I like the idea behind it. I like the idea that they're playing this ultimate game that the Inhumans are trying to manipulate, which I love the reveal of Black Bolt at the end because we haven't
Right.
seen the Inhumans for a while, ever since they
Right.
started to move away from the Inhuman side of things and go back to the mutants. We haven't seen them. Um, so I like that. I like Black Bolt's trying to like usurp authority and take over basically the universe or whatever. I think that's pretty cool. Um, I like Black Bolt, and he's just like this imposing character because he speaks a whisper and you're dead.
Yeah,
I
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that, but the whole conversation between the two, it did take a long time to get there, and we didn't get a whole lot of the other parts of it. And now that we're about to branch off into all these miniseries or these one shots or whatever they are as well, I can see it being overwhelming for people that aren't into that side of things. Ultimately, it's a cosmic murder mystery, and I like that,
Yeah.
but I think it could have been done a little bit better.
Right.
There's so many moving parts of this, and it is kind of jumbled
Exactly. And
together. Yeah,
that's the issue with it for me.
yeah,
Like characters, pieces, it's like there's so much to follow in it, you
yeah,
know? So it's a tough read. So
yeah.
I'm not going forward anymore with it. I might
Gotcha.
check out like the side books, like to see what they're about, maybe like
The
the
She-Hulk one.
She-Hulk one or whatnot and see. But I don't know. I think I'm done with this one going forward
Gotcha.
here.
I'm gonna continue it, but I totally get that. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Let's go on to, excuse me. Exquisite Corpses. This is issue 4. I love this
This was a
issue. I
good
thought
issue. Yeah,
this was the best issue of the bunch so
I
far.
agree. Yeah.
It was all out action this time around. You had the Fox versus Lady C, and they're going after weapon caches, and it's stuck in this car, and it freaking the used car salesman opens up the trunk, and it sits there and slices off his hand.
Oh
And the
man.
dude's like, "Why are you buying this car anyway?" He's just like, "Why don't you buy this nice car?" She's like,
Yeah.
"I just like this one, you know." And then you find out why. Dude,
Yeah.
the whole book is awesome because just seeing the regular townsfolk dealing with these people fighting each other and they're like, what the heck is going on, is absolutely amazing. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, and like his assistant, she's just worried about her kid now because she's seeing all this death around her. She's like, I gotta find my kid. I gotta find my kid.
Yeah.
And we know he's in trouble too. He's in a bad part of town right now where things are going down. So yeah, it's crazy the way this is going, and I agree with you, and I think the reason why this was a better issue, not just because of all the story elements and all the character fights and stuff that we got, but we also took the focus away from the rich people in the room, which every issue before this we've seen a lot of that. They're
Yeah.
just sitting around talking about their chosen warrior or whatever. We didn't get much of that at all in this issue, and I think
No.
that made it stronger.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
the thing is this wasn't even a scheduled fight,
right.
because you get that bracket at the end of it, and then you're
Mhm.
just like, you're
Nothing
not sure
advanced.
who
Yeah.
wins. Like,
Right,
you don't even know if she died or not,
right.
right? And so then you look at the bracket at the end and it has question mark, question mark,
I
question mark.
love that.
And
Yeah,
she wasn't even on the bracket to fight her. She wasn't
yeah.
scheduled to fight her.
I
Like,
love yeah. No, I totally yeah, for sure. I love the fact that it wasn't just, "Okay, last issue was these 2 fighting, they moved on. This issue is these," it wasn't cookie cutter. It wasn't just every issue we're getting a tournament fight and then moving on because that's not realistic, right? And so throwing us for a loop with that and having the question marks and having an sanctioned fight or whatever, made you guess more, made it more interesting, made it less cookie cutter, and I really like that.
yeah, absolutely. Sean King, here's your shout out, buddy.
Sean King, what's up?
Yeah, that's right. There you go. What are we talking about here? It's only one more issue, right? I haven't read issue 3 yet. Are we talking about that? Exquisite Corpses is like 13 issues or something like that, isn't it? Something
Yeah,
crazy like that.
yeah, it's definitely not just 4
Yeah.
or 5
Yeah.
issues, I don't think.
It's quite a few issues.
Yeah.
Or, oh, maybe here we're talking about Imperial.
Oh, Imperial? Yeah,
Yeah.
is it just one more issue? It might
Could
be.
be. Yeah. I
It's
think,
definitely a mini series.
yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Exquisite Corpses was good, dude.
Yeah.
I loved it. So good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on to our number 2. Um, do you have a number 2, Brant?
Yeah, I'll make it easy for you. It's Exquisite Corpses.
Mine was G.I. Joe, so we talked
Okay.
about that one already. All right. Detective Comics, neither of us read.
No.
No. And then Venom Black, Black, White, and Blood, none of us read.
Nope.
So, and then I'm the one who read the Seasons, which wasn't bad. It was a good book, but actually I didn't like this book as much, and it had action in it. But this book thrives when it has to deal with the characters, right? And this one just had this carnival killing off the people and whatnot, and the sisters are trying to survive it, right? And this is another book written by Rick Remender. So this is something, again, completely different from anything else that he's written. So,
totally different. Yeah.
Very intriguing book. I like it, but this for me was the weaker issue of the rest of them.
I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I continued past issue 2, if I remember correctly. It just, for some reason, I could not connect with this one.
Not your vibe. I can see that, though. I can see that.
But I'm glad you're still enjoying it, even if it wasn't.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right. So now we're talking about our number one book, and I would say that yours has got to be G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Yours is Exquisite Corpses.
Yeah.
So we got them switched. Yeah. That's funny.
Okay. So now we'll take it to the most anticipated of the week.
Yeah, which we have the same 1 and 2 just inversed again, which is kind of funny. So we'll talk about our number 3s real quick. I'll get mine out of the way, and I'll tell you why it's on my list, because you're probably wondering. The Avengers number 29, which I've not been reading this book, but this issue, we finally learn what the missing moment is. I think that's like the whole description of the issue is about.
What was the missing moment? I don't even remember.
Okay, so way back at the beginning of this, before the series even started.
Oh, it was like with the Ashen Combine, and they were talking about and Kang in that missing moment thing.
Yes. So we're finally gonna learn what the freaking missing moment is, and I'm just curious about what the freak it is. So that's where I'm at with this book. So that's it. That's the whole reason.
You got to tell me what the missing moment is.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't even remember
the missing moment. It's probably going to be the whole issue.
Yeah. I don't even remember the last issue I read of this series at this point. I really don't even remember what was going on.
They're all the same book. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get this one and find out what this missing moment is, and be like, "Is this what I was waiting for?" Or "Oh, cool," So we'll see which side it falls on. But your number 3 is Universal Monsters: The Invisible Man, which this is by James Tynion.
Right? He did the Dracula one,
Okay.
and so I've read all these, and the Frankenstein was good. The Creature from the Black Lagoon,
okay.
right? And so I'm interested in this one, and we're getting close to Halloween season here.
Yeah,
I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights in like 2 weeks.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. But I'm curious to see how he writes the Invisible Man here. I've always liked the Invisible Man. I think he's an intriguing character.
Yeah.
Just want to read his take on that character. Like, we know the classic version of him, right? And then we've known, like, I read I watched that movie.
The Kevin Bacon movie?
Bacon in it. Yeah, I watched that one.
I love that movie.
I did not watch the most recent one.
I didn't either.
And I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one I gotta watch on my own. It's not Lisa's thing, so I gotta.
Yeah. That's same with me too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. But I definitely wanted to mention Avengers. So let's talk about the other 2 books. Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. That's on both of ours. We tout that as the best Marvel book on the stands, one of the best books on the stands, and we talked about last week how we're sad that it's ending and it makes no sense. But this one, I think it's more Harry. They're interacting with Harry and Gwen again.
It's a dinner.
Yeah, dinner.
Yep, another dinner. So, but what comes out of this dinner this time? Like, think about it. We know who they are at this point. Now, does it all get laid on the line, all on the table towards Mary Jane? Because she wants the truth of everything.
Yeah, you would think that's where it's going.
Right.
Whether that's going to happen or not, we'll see. But I would like to see, I would love to see, like, them find out about Gwen. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Giacchetto is not doing the artwork on this one either.
Mm.
So because it's a dinner, it's a dinner
Yeah,
scene,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you're not going to get that.
That's true.
So, but I'm still excited for it though.
It's still a good book. And the other one is a new number one, which is Immortal Legend Batman. And the creative team on this one is the one that that's kind of won me over. And for some reason, I'm totally blanking on it. I just talked about this on first, and now I'm forgetting who the creative team is.
I don't remember either.
I just know it was when I saw that creative team, I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm behind that. God, why can't I think of their names? I'm gonna look it up. See if I beat the comments. Oh, it's Kyle Higgins. Kyle Higgins and Matt
Oh,
Groom, who did like a lot of the Power Ranger stuff at Boom.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was excited about it because I'm
So
like,
you can expect like a Power Ranger Batman, basically.
yeah, and the art is Erica Durso, which really good art in it as well. We had that preview in the DC books this week of this, um, and we see like he's hunting, he's trying to find Bruce Wayne, so we know Batman's not Bruce Wayne in this, which is interesting. It's I said in first, it's the costume is like a little bit Batman Beyond, a little bit Azrael, and
Uh-huh.
then it's like futuristic on top of all
Yeah.
that too. So
Like
it's
cybernetic too.
yeah. So I'm really curious about this one. What about you?
Yeah. I am too. It seems cool. It seems cool. It could be totally stupid too,
It
but
could be.
you,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those books that you'll have to try and read it and hope that it's really good.
Yeah. It seems interesting and again the creators have me. Um I think Dan Mora does something in this too, maybe a cover. Yeah, he does the cover. Uh yeah, so it's just I don't know. We'll see what happens with it, but I'm kind of excited about it just because of creative team.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you drop Detective Comics? I'm not reading it anymore.
I've only read it here and there when like it seemed interesting and yeah, I haven't read it in quite a while though. I know like this issue was like 1100, it was some milestone issue, right? It
Yeah,
was like
but
so it was
that's
like
not a milestone. That's
right.
lame.
It
Like
was an
you did
anniversary type
1,000
issue.
issues, and now it's like, okay, 100 issues later, we're gonna do
Right.
1,100. Give me
Yeah.
1,500. I'm like, we'll talk, okay?
Yeah. That's why I didn't get it though, because it was like it's just a
It's an
bunch of Batman stories, right?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
an anthology. I was just like,
And
I
it's
can
like
look at that.
$25, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So no.
I think I am dropping a detective though. Like that first story arc was really good, and then
Wasn't
like you get into the second story arc, and it's like has to do with Penguin, and it just I don't
yeah.
know. It's not the same book in my opinion.
That's where I dropped it, I think, as a matter of fact, now that you mentioned that. So oh
So
well Luis here says it was great. There was a silent story with the deaf kid, just heartwarming. Well, that's good. I didn't doubt there would be some good stories in it. It's just those kind of issues. Typically, you get one or two good stories and a lot of just like, okay, you know what I mean?
it's a
So
lot of filler stuff.
right,
Yeah.
and it's not connected to anything typically. Um, so that's why I kind of
It's like give
I
me
have
1100th issue that's going to mean something in the main story.
right,
Then we'll talk because again, comics are expensive, and I know I buy a lot of comics.
yeah,
That's not I'm not saying I don't spend a lot of money and you could say, "Well, what's another $10?" But if I'm not I could spend that $10 or whatever it is that issue cost and buy an ongoing story or try a new number 1 or something
yeah,
like that, where
for sure,
that detective issue doesn't really mean anything. Now, if it's like something that means something, then that completely changes, the subject here.
yeah, agreed. So
So, why are comics getting expensive? Because everything else is getting expensive.
inflation,
Yeah.
inflation, inflation, inflation. That's it.
I mean, it's you want people that want to get paid more money. It costs more money uh to print the paper out. It costs more
Yeah,
money uh to do all these things that it costs for a comic book. I mean, Brant does this stuff on Kickstarters all the time, so he can tell you why, it's got to be materials that cost a
yeah.
lot more money too.
It wasn't that long ago that all the paper costs went up, and since the pandemic, everything that went up never came back down. And so just printing costs, paper costs, ink costs, all that stuff is more expensive, and they want more profit too. So, they have to turn over a profit, and comics aren't where they make all their money, so they have to get what they can out of them. So it's just the whole thing,
Yeah. Yep. It is
unfortunately.
unfortunate. It's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we could even go back to the days when the New 52 came out and all the books were $2.99.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's crazy though, because like at the quantities that they're printing, they're making a killer profit on those books, but
Oh, sure.
there's
Absolutely.
it's still not making them money. You know what I mean? They make their money through merchandise.
Right.
So
If books were stuck between $2.99, $3.99, I think in today's day and age, I feel like that's this nice sweet spot, I
I
think.
I could live with 3.99. It's the 4.99, 5.99, 7.99. Those are the ones that get me. It's like, and I say that coming from indie comics where we have to charge more because our costs are higher because we're printing at lower volumes, and that
Right.
means the per issue or per copy cost is way higher than theirs, which is like for us at the levels that we print, like a single issue probably costs us like around $2 to print, whereas theirs is probably like 30 cents. So it's a great difference, but that's why indies can have to charge more. But
Yeah. Like when I go to buy my books at the comic shop and I count like how much it's going to cost, I just round every comic book up to $5.
mm,
That's how I do it. So it's like,
yeah,
oh
that's
yeah,
smart.
I got 10 books, 10 times 5, $50. And then
Yeah.
if it's a little less than that, then I'm like, okay, that's a bonus. I mean,
Yeah,
I get a discount on top of it too
right.
because of, because I have a pull list and everything, but I just round it up to the $5 mark.
Yeah, for sure. So,
2 weeks behind in comics, huh?
yeah. Oh, sorry. There you
You're gonna be more behind after tomorrow because
go.
tomorrow is like I got a huge week. I think I got like 27 books. I think I'm getting
Oh
tomorrow.
man, really? I haven't looked at in a bit, but if you have that many, I probably have close to the same because you and I buy about the same books.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee
Yeah.
for sure.
Just looking over like the first 15, 20 here, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting most of those. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm on League of Comic Geeks now, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I got like 5, 10, 15, 20,
Well, I mean,
25. Yeah, 26 books tomorrow.
yeah,
That's just on here. That's
right.
not the stuff that might be also
In
put in on
in your
the
file, yeah.
FOC for me too.
Right. I'm not logged in right now, so I can't see what I've got checked, but just glimpsing it, I'm seeing a lot of books. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a big week.
Yep.
We got Doom 2099 coming out. Are you getting
Oh
that?
boy.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't have high hopes for it. I'm not
No,
gonna
I don't
lie.
either. I'm
I,
just
I
saying.
am I am gonna read it though. And the Emma Frost book I've actually enjoyed. I think that's been pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a good one too.
Got
Uh,
Geiger coming out tomorrow.
yeah, excited
Speed
for that.
Racer. Did you read Speed Racer issue
I
1?
did. I like the
Yeah, it's
first issue
really
a lot.
good. Void Rivals. We got the final issue of West Coast Avengers tomorrow.
Yeah, curious to see how that ends in a whimper.
And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The new Shredder book comes out tomorrow too.
Yeah, I'm curious about that one.
So
Uh,
it's-
there's a few new number ones that I might try. Yeah, a lot of books.
yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got. We're
That's
done.
it. Not too
And
bad.
Pat's still
Not too
probably
shabby.
got Lady Gaga.
Probably.
Yeah. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. And hopefully you have a wonderful new comic book day tomorrow. On your way out, make sure you give this video a like. It definitely helps get the word out there about this live show. And of course, guys, make sure you hit the bell for those notifications. So, as always, thank you so much. Better than Gaga. That's what we like to hear, baby.
Thank you.
I mean, if you want, we can sing Gaga songs. Maybe Brant won't, but I will. I've sung before. So
My poker face. Yeah, there you go. That's how you get it.
Oh God. All right, guys. So have a good night. Have a great new comic book day. And we'll see you guys. All three of us will be here next week. Take care. Good night.
I'm like, oh, I got it.